it makes you think twice about like wasting time on Instagram or Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just wasted $100
Right.
of my time. Like,
Right.
Welcome to Streams of Income with self-help author Ryan Rieger.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Streams of Income radio show. I'm your host, Ryan Rieger, and today we are chatting with my friends and Legends members, Jason and Haiti Marshall. They literally started out with $0, but also we are doing an insane promotion for our Legends community, a $1 45-day trial. And what's significant about this is that our Q4 groups start up in mid-September. So if you jump in now into our Legends community, you'll get the Q4 groups for free. You can even test out the Q4 groups as well during this 45-day trial because it overlaps. And now if you decide not to continue in Legends, you wouldn't be in the Q4 groups either. You could pay for that separately. But as a Legends member, you get free access to the Q4 groups. So this is an insane promotion, one that we have never done before, might not ever duplicate. And this promotion ends on next Sunday evening. So jump in there. The link will be in the show notes, but it's amzlegends.com/45DAY, amzlegends.com/45DAY to get you that insane $1 45-day trial and also access to the beginning of our Q4 groups just in the trial. I'm excited to bring you this interview with Jason and Haiti. It's a fun one. Jason's a former pastor, and he actually goes over, brings out a 3-point sermon. They're ABCs of an Amazon business. It's a lot of fun. Great episode. You're going to love it. Here it is.
We definitely had some ABCs that we wanted to make sure we share tonight.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah. Everybody open your Bibles.
Yeah, that's right. All right. That actually opens us up to our first point. The A is always be looking for new streams of income, new income streams. And, obviously in the replens model, you always need to be looking for new products.
Yep.
Right? So, but once you've got that business established, you need to be thinking about private label. You should be thinking about sale. You should be thinking about whether or not you want to be coaching. When I transitioned out of ministry, the first thing I had to figure out is what am I going to do? So my brother, I have an identical twin actually. His name's Kevin, and he's actually an SEO specialist. He pointed out a book to me that everybody should read. He's been on the podcast for years.
Oh yeah, my gosh, he's a good friend of mine.
Yeah, Dan Miller.
Yes.
Right? So Dan Miller was actually on one of the podcasts.
Yeah.
And with Jim.
Yeah.
And that book just really talks about how to find work. It has to do with work ethic, and but you need to be thinking about, okay, what other income streams are there out there?
Yeah,
you might share.
I think with all of us who are entrepreneurs and business owners, like we just have so many ideas, and kind of don't stop there. Keep looking out your ideas and searching them out, and finding those products, but also what else does God have for you?
Yes.
Whether it may be starting a YouTube channel with steps on how to do something or a podcast. So I think that's just our big thing is always look for other ways to provide income.
Yeah. I mean, even for me, like, I said I had to go back out to do Uber Eats and DoorDash and Grubhub. And I told my brother also told me about that. Yeah. And I told him the other day, hey, I gave myself a raise. I went to a higher income area, and I'm actually doing better out there.
Nice.
Just had to think like a business person. Where's the money?
Yes.
Where's the best place to be? And
absolutely.
Just might be a little bit more intentional about how I spend my time.
Yeah.
I actually think this kind of life maybe isn't for everyone though. Not everyone wants to be out there like looking for something else to do or hustling, and that's fine. Someone might just want to work under someone and not have to deal with all this kind of hustle and bustle, and that's fine too. But if you do like it, if it does excite you, then keep it up.
Right. That sometimes sounds kind of nice, doesn't it? Like when you have bad days, you're like, man, wouldn't it be nice to go back just to having a regular job? And then at 5 o'clock, I go home. I don't even have to think about my job until the next day. There are some advantages of that for sure, but you're giving up your freedom. And so do you want that? It just really depends. And you're right. My brother is not an entrepreneur at all. He needs that structure. He needs somebody to tell him when to go to work, when to leave, how much time he has off. He
Mhm.
thrives under that. He would not do well if he had his own business, and that's just the way he's wired.
Right.
But I'm wired completely
Yeah.
differently.
All right, so we went through the A.
I love it.
B is basically be intentional about setting goals.
Mm,
And for us, goals is just a really big one. I think we talked to you, well, we did talk to you about it and how, yeah, just setting your goal and then kind of working backwards from your goal and then kind of breaking it down into, okay, this month, I want the end goal to be 4 months from now. So every month what am I going to do to end at that end goal?
yeah.
And when we drove home from the Legends Conference, I was writing down notes and we were making plans. And we were really like, okay, we have all this information and we got to set goals. We have to figure out step by step how we're going to do these. And for June and July, we said we're going to do 50 replans. We're going to get 50 replans. And we met those goals.
Awesome.
And I think having exactly laid out what you want, putting it up on your wall, just kind of having that reminder is really important. And then just communicating it with your business partner or with an accountability person or with a community.
I love that. Walk me through that. We're about to go into Q4 here pretty soon. It's right around the corner. What's your goal setting process? What's that look like for you? Because maybe it might be something that somebody else will be like, yes, the way she explained it or the way he explained it makes sense now. I'm going to use that. You do it that way.
Okay, so I think you have to set time to make goals. So you can't just say, I'm going to make a goal and then never set time and actually do it. So your first goal might be to set a goal.
Yeah.
So it might actually be that simple.
Yes.
So, I had a pastor friend of mine who used to use the concept of a crawl, walk, and run. You want to think in terms of crawl, in terms of, okay, crawling is a very, very simple step. So maybe there's a crawl step that you need to make. It could be setting aside 10 minutes just every day this week to see if you can come up with come up 3 goals. And then by the end of the week, you might have like 3 goals. It could be very simple. And maybe one of those steps is really tiny, it's a crawl. One of those steps is more like a walking step. Set a little bit of a bigger goal, and then a running step. And that's kind of be a little bit of a leap of faith.
Yeah. So you have separate, kind of like 3 separate goals for your business. Like, so it might be sales goals. Like for Q4, I want to hit, that my crawl goal would be something I have to hit this. There's just no way I can't hit this. And it's much smaller than your walk and run goals that are.
Yep. Yeah. Basically crawling goals are things just to get you going.
Yeah.
And the running ones are the big goals. Like, so if I'm doing, I don't know, let's say you're doing 4,000 in sales right now. Your goal for next month might be to do 8,000. That's a big jump from 4,000. But that might be one step right now.
Yeah. And so just break it down and, okay, so if I have these many ASINs right now, I'm going to need double. And
yes.
I'm going to take the double amount and break it into 4 weeks. So then and Jimmy and others leaders have explained kind of this process, but sometimes we just need that reminder, like, don't look at the huge number of 100 replans, but look at it as like 25 replans, and then actually set days to go and source. I think that's the part that we set these goals, and then we just don't set the time to make the goals. But a goal is really like a dream. You just dream about the business that you want, and then, like I said, like work backwards.
That's right. I like how you said to break the number of ASINs, because some people will set a sales goal and like, okay, so I'm at 5,000 now and I want to hit 10,000, but that it just stops there because they don't know exactly what that means. Yeah. So it could be as simple as just doubling the ASINs. It can be more complicated than that if you want to get super complicated about it, but might as well make it simple. I'm selling this many SKUs right now, double that many. That's this many over the next each 4 weeks. And if I might have 2 shopping days, that's that many more, those 2 shopping days. Try to break it down as simple as possible.
Yeah, it's as simple and as little steps, but also give yourself like a little bit of just something higher to shoot for.
Yes.
So maybe ROI has to be 50 or more, or 60 or more. Just kind of give yourself, don't just take anything,
Mhm.
make your standards a little bit higher.
Right.
Yeah.
You might need to set the right kinds of goals too.
Yeah.
Now, let's say you want to get to, you're at 4,000 and you want to get to 10,000. Well, that might require that you need to invest in some systems to measure your success and how well you're doing.
Yeah.
At some point, if you have, let's say you have more than 100 ASINs, you might need to consider getting a repricer.
Yep.
Because your repricer makes a big difference. But if you have, let's say you already passed that goal and you have 300 ASINs, you might want to have inventory lab to make sure that you're able to manage what you have, get a better read on your numbers, because there are certain limitations that come into play. The more your business grows, and your systems and structures that have to be built to sustain what you're doing.
Yeah, and Jimmy talks about those plateaus that they experienced. They had to hire somebody to get over that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And even something like getting inventory lab or getting a software, that can be a goal. Give yourself 3 weeks to research it, make sure your finances are in order. Just give yourself time before you register for that software program, because that goal is going to cost money, So just set yourself up to be successful in it.
Talk to me about Q4 goals. So somebody who's not been through a Q4 before, pretend like we have a whole audience of people listening, like this is going to be their first Q4. And how would you advise somebody on how to set a goal for Q4 that's never been through it before?
Okay, great. I think I can answer that. So we were, last September, we were doing about 14,000 a month. And we really, honestly, we didn't really prepare so much for Q4. We thought, we gotta, we gotta keep growing, right? And so I would advise somebody right now, you need to be doing a lot of sourcing. Get in the practice of doing a lot of sourcing now, because you're gonna need that discipline from October. Q4 is really starting to ramp up. You're gonna need the discipline to go out and look for those goals. That'll probably be the first one. I think my second one is on a Q4 group. We went from 14,000 in September to 27,000 in December.
Wow.
And that was even without really trying to source more.
Yeah, we didn't really do much to prepare for Q4, like any certain types of products or inventory. We just kind of were like, we're gonna just do the replan model, but we did notice that some items just sold more. So maybe what we'll do is make sure that those items we have plenty in stock. And but I think that was the main thing, is we just kind of kept it even throughout the year without interrupting our normal everyday to focus on Q4, which maybe in the I'm sure we will in the future, but right now we're just like, we just want to keep things going as smoothly as possible.
And I would say too that we our best sourcing months last year were right around September, October.
Okay.
So we saw that we reaped the dividends of that come December. Yeah. I mean, it made a big difference.
Yeah. So you doubled. So so somebody could, I mean, I'd say safe, but a good goal might be to double what they're currently doing.
Absolutely.
On monthly sales.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Now's the time to really establish some disciplines about sourcing.
Yeah.
Every business has its seasons, right? So I would say definitely August, September is the time to ramp up your sourcing a little bit, because it's not as busy this time of year, generally speaking.
Yeah. And I would say, I guarantee you guys aren't going out and this is another key point for somebody who maybe has never, the folks in the Legends group that we're talking to right now and other folk, I mean, they know that you're not going out and thinking, ooh, these games right here are going to be hot for Q4. Let's buy a bunch of those and hope it's not speculative. You're just buying more of what's already selling now, because you're just going to sell more of it in Q4.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah. So one of the things we learned last year was certain products that we sell really well during Q4.
Yeah.
We'll be ready for it this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you going to go back into your inventory and look at what's sold or your past sales and kind of get reminded, oh, I forgot about that. Let's be on look out for that when it comes out.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we have the replens dashboard. The replens dashboard is great for that, because you can look back at what some of your sales were in the past.
Absolutely.
And then you take a look at those sales, and you can use the Amazon Seller app too. We've been selling long enough now, we can see kind of the trends. Particularly at best-selling products, how much more they sold back then versus what they sell now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we haven't really sourced many toys. I don't know if I feel like I'm intimidated by toys.
Sure.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, everyone's business is different. Maybe I'll get the confidence to source toys soon. I like smaller things and smaller priced things.
Right. But especially with all the CPC notifications people are getting from Amazon, it's, I was just recorded an episode with Jim just yesterday with Honey and Jimmy to talk about the Q4 groups. And they're kind of just predicting, no inside knowledge or anything, that Jimmy and Jim were saying, somebody in Amazon is going to look at some figure in October or November and like, wow, we're down 48% on toy sales. What's going on? Well, it's because all these crazy violations and CPC requirements. So let's go tell the sellers that they can source toys again. They're just guessing. Nobody knows, but that would be nice. So, yeah.
Well, definitely too. I know, assuming we're not in lockdown mode come December.
Yes.
Amazon's can be say, hey, we need to get our sales up. And we know that third-party sellers are people doing the most sales on Amazon.
Yeah.
So I do think it works. It's going to work in our favor. I agree with that.
All right, you got A, B, and what's the C? I love this. I'm glad you guys brought this up.
Okay, so for those who may have missed the early part, let's always look for new income streams. B was be intentional about setting goals, and C is we want to talk about communication.
Communication.
Okay. With your customers, with your business partner, and with your community. The customers, obviously. You want to be able to
be on top of your messages and, reply to customers and reply to Amazon.
But even like the presentation of products, make sure it looks clean. You want it to look professional.
Yeah.
Because that does make a difference. In the grand scheme of things.
Yes.
And then obviously, we have each other for business partners.
Yeah.
So you want to be communicating with each other about, the important things that are coming up. But community, I think the big thing about community for me is you need to have a life outside of Amazon. You don't just live on the computer. And so we just, a few minutes ago, right before we came in here, we were involved in National Night Out.
With our neighborhood, yeah. I mean, we're a family of almost have 5 kids, and so we're very, very busy. And that's why we enjoy this business from home, because we set our own hours. We went to source this morning. Our teenager is really what makes it possible because she babysits for us.
Yeah.
But we're able to do things with our family, like go to a neighborhood event and be a part of the community and just be involved. But also it's important with our Legends Group community and 0 to 100K group. Just be involved. And I know for me, I'm not as involved because just my hands are really full with the kids and everything. But if you're new, if you're definitely having questions, just communication.
You always want to resist isolation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Resist isolation as you get involved in community, both with your customers, with other sellers, and also just the people your neighbors, the people that you live around. Obviously, if you're a believer, you want to be involved in some kind of local church where you can have somebody to talk to and just share life with.
Yeah, and we've had so many. We've had a couple of couples talk to us and want us to help them understand this replens business.
Yeah.
Set up meetings with us, and that's another form of communication. And maybe you can start a training on the side and charge for that because your time is important and valuable. And sure, it's great. Maybe the first initial meeting, just talk, and then after that, if they want more training and detail, you put a price on that. And that's all part of communication because, put yourself out there, let people know what you're doing. They're going to be impressed and they'll want to know more.
Yep. And what Jimmy says in the Advanced Replens Mastermind group that we're part of right now is, your time's worth $100 an hour. So you need to think that way. If you're in this business and you're serious about doing it, you need to think in terms of, how am I using my time?
Yes.
And so
it makes you think twice about wasting time on Instagram or Facebook. I'm like, I just wasted $100
Right.
of my time. Like,
Right.
You want to see football and stuff like that.
when you're an entrepreneur, like you have to think that way. You're like, I
You do.
cannot. I mean, sure, schedule your time to relax, but
Sure.
yeah, it's been a great tip for us.
Yep.
That's awesome. Wow. What other, I love the ABCs. What other advice would you give people who are just getting started, or anything about just your journey?
Something I was thinking about today was, if you're in the Legends group right now, and we speak to people who are selling at our level and maybe even above, you might be thinking about, it's time for me to quit my full-time job, or you're thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many incomes out there, so many income streams out there. And maybe you do need to take that leap away from your job. It's holding you back from growing your full-time business. I mean, I did it. I'm still doing it, doing side gigs and stuff like that.
Sure.
I can use the side gigs to supplement the business until the business is big enough to for us to be able to hire people out. And
yeah,
really
but that's
make it
not
full-time.
wasted time either. I'm sure you're listening to a podcast too, that
Absolutely.
because it's kind of hard. I imagine it's kind of hard to be at home with your family and also listening to a podcast. That's kind of difficult, but you're in the car, it's just you. That's a perfect time to be consuming that content. You can get a university degree in Amazon and e-commerce and business in your car.
Yep. Yeah, I did that the other night. I was just listening to one of the mastermind groups I missed, so I could find out about the other people in the group.
I mean, and God's going to be with you no matter what. If you
Mm-hmm.
made the wrong choice or the timing wasn't right, like just pray about it. God's going to be with you. And just sometimes you just have to take that leap of faith and obedience and be able to, okay, now I don't have this thing to consume my time. Now I can focus all on.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would add something that you guys just said, that about your decision to go either the coaching route or the replens route. Replen coaching is follow peace. You guys didn't have peace about that. Yeah. And then make sure you follow peace in that area, and also make sure your spouse is on board. If you're going to make a decision to quit your job, obviously you both have to have a peace about it, and you both have to be on board too, because you don't want to go home to your wife, honey, I quit my job today. What? Hey, Ryan Rieger here. If you're looking for proven real strategies for making money online, then grab my book, Streams of Income. In it, I detail the 3 main ways to make money online. And these are strategies that students of mine all over the world are using to make real money. And the best part is these are strategies that you can get started with $0 and 0 experience. So if you'd like a free copy of my book, Streams of Income, check out the link in the description below.